Comic Book Talk. I am Rico, or Comic Talk, and this is my main man, Cody, and we're talking about Thunderbolts. So, as he reminded me today, spoiler warning, the whole show. Because I'm just going to let it loose.
We could do a very brief, we could give brief thoughts without getting too much into
That's
it.
no fun. But here we are. So if it slips out, I don't apologize, but I would try to not allow it to happen. So, how are you? Let's start off by saying, how are you going to rate this movie?
You want to give it out of 10?
1 out of 10.
I've really been thinking about it. So we've seen it. We've had some time to think about it. I think about a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We've had to think about it. This is a very high 7, maybe a low 8 movie for me. This was very, very enjoyable, and I really did not expect it, honestly.
Give it a 4. You see why.
Out of 10?
Yeah, why not? Watch it long enough, you'll know why I say 4.
Okay. Alrighty.
No. I give it out of 10. I'm going to give it a... I would give it a 7 as well. I would say this is a good... Thunderbolts was a good movie to re-energize or recharge my want to go to another Marvel film in the theaters. I would like to say it was almost a Marvel reboot in a sense, and I enjoyed how it played out. I enjoyed how the storyline went. I enjoyed the characters and their own separate stories within the story. You know.
I get it. I can really
I'm trying not to.
I can really tell you you want to give the spoilers. You want to give the spoilers.
I want to talk about it. We got to talk about something.
So with that being said,
you got to talk about something.
Spoilers.
Man.
All right, it's free game.
They all die. Yes. Darkseid breaks the multiverse and shows up in Marvel and pulls Spider-Man's web out of his right out of his body. And, Red Guardian becomes president of the United States.
Mickey Mouse holds you at gunpoint
and
tells you, watch Fantastic Four.
Watch my movie! Yeah, just like that. None of that happened, but it would have been fun, right?
No, I wonder what would have been their guess that none of that happened.
Yeah, right.
Dude, this movie was really solid.
Really good. It was really
solid.
Good.
Like, as I'm thinking about it, I think an 8 might be too high, but it is like a solid 7.5 movie.
7's a very comfortable number for this movie.
It's very respectable because I think I can speak for this. Nobody had any expectations going into this film that it was going to be any kind of good.
No?
No, a lot of people, there were very few people that had any kind of expectations that this film was going to be good.
True.
This is a team of people that were, you're on the fringes. You're on the Disney Plus side of things. I mean, with the exception of Bucky and Ghost. But I mean, Yelena was in Black Widow. That was on Disney Plus. Red Guardian was in Black Widow. That was on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Walker. Oh my goodness. I'm already forgetting everybody. Taskmaster was in Black Widow.
Red Guardian.
A lot of these characters were from your Disney Plus side of things.
Yeah.
But when you watch the movie, you don't... having seen those projects, I don't feel like I was benefited anymore. I feel like you can actually watch this movie and get an appreciation for each of these characters just by what we're shown. I mean, we get to see... You don't get to see really the good parts of their life. You really get to focus on some of the bad parts. This movie does have a heavy focus on depression,
it does.
Depression, and it takes it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who's been through that and has been to the bottom of it and has come out the other side, this movie treats it very respectfully as something to be talked about, not to be hidden.
That's true.
And it gives you advice about how to fix it, and it's not just crap advice. They genuinely are interested in spreading the word about it. I don't know.
No, that's the same vibe I picked up. Like Cody was saying, all of these people all the main characters in this story, if you remember, them being introduced in their own, movies. They all were people that were trying to do better, but society pressed them down, and they all had to walk their own life in the shadows and lonely, and not being isolated from the world around them. They've had the closest ones ripped from them, or they've been double crossed, or they've just lived in agony. Kind of like, for example, lived in agony, Ghost.
Yeah.
She just lives in agony, And then all the other characters, they've all found themselves in positions that they don't want to be in, like Red Guardian. He lives in a trailer and he drives a limousine, And it's like, I had a whole family once upon a time, And not getting too into it, but Yolanda, she was the one that was like, whoa, like, I don't know. It was, like, without telling too much.
Well, we're in spoiler territory
oh,
now.
well, okay,
yeah.
well,
yeah.
Well, yeah, she even, it was one of the hardest moments in the story to watch, in the movie to watch, is when she was talking to her dad. Red Guardian was like, she utterly said, I'm so lonely. Like, I come home, which a lot of people can relate to. Like, I go to work, I come home, I'm on my phone, I have no one to talk to, I'm expecting no phone calls from anyone, and then rinse and repeat, I do it all over again. That's a very structured life, but a very hollow, lonely life.
Right.
And she's just yearning for somebody to connect with and just have pleasant conversation with, instead of just beating people up all day.
And kind of to skip to the end and then to come back, what this movie does is each of these people, they have their own reasons why they're battling depression.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the movie, their relationship isn't perfect. It's rocky. They still argue, but they've found this fellow group of people that they can all understand each other.
Yeah.
Even some of the people like coming into this, like I don't know about how you'd want to do this, but I want to go like character by character.
Okay, let's run it
I
down.
was genuinely impressed. The one that was the least impressive was Taskmaster.
Yeah, they cleaned that clock quick. But at the same time, I with Taskmaster, they casted a woman to play Taskmaster, which you cleaned up for me. They had a guy play Taskmaster, but when that character, revealed his face, it was a woman. And a lot of people were sulking about that. A lot of people were like, ginger swap. Me personally, I didn't really care due to the fact that you don't really see her face. You see her face twice in the entire movie of Black Widow, and then you see her face once in the Thunderbolts.
Which seemed a little odd to me, that one moment. She's trying to kill Walker, for the sake of the story, for the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
You have an opening scene with Yelena, which was a practical stunt. They actually had her dive off of a building.
Second tallest building in the world, which she almost didn't get clearance to do.
Yes, Marvel.
Yeah.
The insurance company was not too happy about that one.
Yeah, and that was in... Where was that in? It was somewhere... I don't want to say somewhere in the Middle East. It was... Because they used
may be in Dubai.
Dubai, yes.
Yeah,
because they used that same building in Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
When they
and
were
in Mission Impossible as well.
Really?
Yep. He climbs the tallest building, the first tallest building.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. With Taskmaster, I did not expect. I knew someone was going to pass away in this movie, and I thought it was going to be Green. Oh my goodness, Red Guardian. Because I felt as though he was going to be the heart of the movie. And it was going to take everyone to come together because of his death. But it was completely... And that wasn't it at all. Like you said, Taskmaster, she got unalived. And it was kind of like, man...
She got aired out so quick.
By Ghost. And I was kind of like, man, why we got to do it that easy? Like, for Taskmaster to die, you must really have to... be good. But then again, only person there that would have been which I do want to touch a topic on. Only person that was good enough to kill her, or Taskmaster, was Ghost.
Well, the rest of them were good enough that they could probably... Well, Yelena couldn't do it in a fight because Taskmaster would overpower her.
Yeah.
But when it comes to it, I'll talk about who was able to fight her, but then also her death. When it comes to it, this movie really made me think about Ghost's powers. Like, they use her powers in some creative ways. Later on in the climax of the film, she saves a guy from getting hit by a falling helicopter because she goes intangible, speeds up, and then goes retangible again and flings him out of the way and then goes intangible again.
Yeah, she's able to walk from solid matter.
But, they actually... Like, think about the physics of it.
Yeah.
Like, she was able to move this guy out of the way.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, when you get to the end of the film, you find out that these people are the new Avengers. Well, they're not just, Yelena makes a joke about it during the movie.
Yeah.
That they're just a bunch of people that punch and shoot. But beyond that, their ability to work together and some of the creative uses for their powers. Like, you have Red Guardian throw Yelena up into the air to get to a person faster to save them out of the way.
Just launched her in the air. One cool thing about this team that I didn't want to touch topic on is they were all hired to kill each other.
Yes.
Well, if you think about it, each person is a weakness to the next person.
Right.
So for them to come together to be they're the perfect team.
Exactly.
Because they're the strengths to each other's weaknesses. So they can, when we need a big guy to be a demolition guy, we have Red Guardian. When we need a stealth person, we have Ghost and Yolanda. When we need a brute, we have
U.S. Agent.
We have U.S. Agent with his beret.
Oh my goodness.
I just was waiting to talk to you about that.
It was one of the only things in the movie that I don't like.
Yeah.
I've got two complaints.
And then we got
both
Bucky.
Superficial.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. So, all right, we talked about Taskmaster. We did talk about Yelena. Yelena, excuse me.
Yelena. So for her, I did not like the Black Widow movie.
No?
I'm a fan of Black Widow from the Marvel Knights era. It's just really when she, very interesting character. To the point where once I started really getting into her stories, it made me question about her being in a position on the Avengers in the MCU. Because she's not somebody that should be fighting on the front lines. She should be, getting into some kind of tech center, hacking into something.
Yeah.
Very behind-the-scenes character whose presence is felt more than it's shown. And another thing about her in the comics is that she is... You can hardly ever tell what angle is she working. Like, she's very intelligent. She steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And so... when we got the Black Widow movie, I was very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Yelena. Yelena comes from those comics that I was talking about, that I had started reading with her, the Marvel Knights run.
Mm-hmm.
Yelena is such an interesting opportunity, and I feel like they didn't use her properly. But when you get to this movie, this is who she should be.
Yeah.
She got taken out of mind control. She was forced to kill people without any ability to fight it herself. I mean, and one of the things about it is that when we get to the Void later on in the movie and we get the emotional scenes coming out of each person, we get to see their worst moment. Hers is one of the few times that she had a choice to kill, and she made the choice.
Yeah.
And it was a very well done scene. You get that these characters are broken inside, and that's what Yelena should have been. If you're going to make her... Because in the comics, she was never a good guy. She never came to the other side. The MCU did that because they killed off Black Widow, and they wanted another Black Widow.
Honestly, with Yelena, what I've realized, actually, I would say confirmed now, being introduced to Yelena and Black Widow, and then seeing her again. Well, I would like to break it down. When we first met Yelena, we met her as a child, and then like a kid, like maybe 8, 9 years old, and then time hop, She's this serious elite assassin. Like she has no personality, no sense of humor, except for elite assassin. That's it. Survival of the fittest. I need to be one, like you said, 5-10 steps ahead of you. Mission, mission, mission. And then we meet her, we meet her again at Hawkeye, and you can tell that her sister kind of rubbed off on her. Like she became more human. Her sense of humor was more kind of dark and kind of sarcastic, but you can see, to me, I saw a glimpse of Scarlett Johansson in Yelena's character. And then she also still she was a fighter. And then coming into Thunderbolts, she had all of that stripped from her. Like she came into this world, had a family, lost her family, reunited with her sister. The next thing you know, her sister dies, and then she meets Kate Bishop, and she's like, okay, I have some kind of connection. And then she meets Valentino. She goes, okay, I have purpose now. And then towards the end of the movie, you kind of feel like all of that is ripped from her, and now she's rebuilding all over again.
She finally has decided what she wanted. Mm-hmm. And so, like I talked about Black Widow. Black Widow is probably going to be brought up for reference because a lot of these characters come from Black Widow. That was the first time that we saw them. Red Guardian is better in this movie.
Yo, yes, he is.
Yelena is better in this movie. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Red Guardian, gets more opportunity to act like he wasn't their blood father, but he genuinely cares about them. Yeah. It's like he shows it in weird ways sometimes. I feel like everybody has that one relative, like they don't show it, but they love you.
Yeah.
And so he might talk about how exciting it is that you're killing people, but he still loves you.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to this, the best scene in Black Widow of Red Guardian was when he started singing to Yelena American Pie, because that's her favorite song.
My American Pie. Yes.
It's an A1 impression right there.
It was good. It was so good. Yes.
The thunderbolt.
The thunderbolt. We scored no points in soccer, but Elena loved being the goalie. She said she wanted to protect everybody. It was such a good movie, man. That was a good movie.
As I'm thinking about it, like I'm really enjoying it more and more as I'm thinking about it.
Great movie.
And this is just as an offshoot before we go back into the characters. The name Thunderbolts, right? Going into this movie, I was like, okay, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Because
okay, what are we doing?
You have it called Thunderbolts, and the defense that a lot of people were running is that all of the people that you see were on the Thunderbolts team in the comics at one point. Well, if you want to be pedantic like that, you could have a team with, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Wasp, Thor, Hulk, etc.
I so thought he was going to get broken out. I was like, where were we going to get? Because I have Thunderbolt #1.
Right.
And I was like, Red Hawk's going to break out. Oh, my goodness. When is he getting in and out? When is he getting on the raft?
Nope.
No Red Hawk. Sorry. Nope. That's one tomb. Indiana Jones ain't getting out. He's not getting out of that one.
But my point is that you have all these characters from the Avengers team, from the mainline Avengers team, and you could still call the movie Thunderbolts. Like, you get what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
So, but when you get into this movie, it's using the name differently. The name it's a reference to the comics, but it's not trying to be the comics.
No.
And when we get to the end of the movie with the new Avengers, it's a reference to the comics, but it's not trying to be that.
Yeah.
But it does it respectfully. And so the name Thunderbolts in this is a reference to Yelena's Little League soccer team. And it was treated like a joke until they really started to play into it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this team can be that. They can be the underdog. They might never win any of their missions, but man, this movie makes you root for them.
Yeah.
Like, really well.
Well, like I was also thinking that when it got to the end, the new Avengers. I personally don't believe that like this version of the Avengers can take on any kind of mega level threat. Like the first Avenger movie we got, they took on aliens breaking a hole into Earth, into our universe, and they fought them. And they needed a Hulk, and they had a Hulk, and they got the job done. But this is just a elite group of super soldiers. They're all super soldiers,
with the exception of Yelena.
I would honestly put her in that category because she could take a hit from a super soldier and get back up. Not saying it didn't hurt, not saying it phased her, but she can take a hit from U.S. agent and get back up. She can take a hit.
She's going to have broken ribs.
Yeah.
She's going to be suffering, but she might get back up.
She can get back up and she'll get the job done because that's exactly what she did.
Where I was making the distinction is that you have like your super soldiers and then you have like your peak humans.
Yeah, I would say she's peak level. Yeah. But like if there's any kind of mega like when they fought Sentry, like
they got folded.
Not saying anyone could have fought Sentry, but
yeah, even the Hulk has a hard time with Sentry.
Yeah.
Comic.
All right, I would like to say the coolest part. I bet you people saw you. I know everyone saw it and gasped, but it was a very easy to look over scene. It happened so fast. It was the fight scene with Sentry and Sentry and Bucky, and it was like he went from like a downward punch to an uppercut gunshot.
Yeah,
and it was like. He missed, and it happened so fast. And it was like you saw him moving really fast, but the way the camera was filmed, it was like you saw him moving really, really fast, but you saw Sentry moving very, very slow. And it was like, how did they do? They had to film them both differently, and then speed up Bucky's movements, and then slow down Sentry's movements. And I don't recall seeing that on film ever. Even in Flash movies. You see someone move that fast, but move that slow at the same time and not be phased or obviously touched. That just shows you how fast and how strong. Sentry's moving in slow motion. But if...
You made it the other way around?
No. I feel like they did that on purpose. So they can show you how he sees the world around him.
When he moves, he leaves like... ghost images for like a brief
shuddered
second.
Almost.
And so there's not a lot of Sentry in this movie. That's one thing about it.
No, but you do get his other half.
You do get his other half. There's not a lot of Sentry in this movie. I feel like that might be something that held this movie back a little bit for me because it's very interesting. And now he's on the new Avengers, but he's not able to use his powers because of the Void. So what I think that they're building to is from the comics where he's going to merge with the Void, and his suit went from gold to like this orangish red kind of color.
Yeah.
But he was able to use both powers, both sets of powers. And so like when you're talking about that, you're very right. Like if there was another New York invasion, they're not going to be able to cut it. No. You're still going to root for them, but they're going to fight till the bitter end, and they're all going to die.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to ask you about is I have some picks, but who would you like to join the new Avengers? It doesn't have to be somebody that exists in the MCU yet. You could pull from comics, any Marvel comics.
I'm going to pull from the MCU.
Okay.
Yeah. In the new Avengers, I feel like we're going to get a Hulk. Because they're coming up with a Hulk movie. At least that's what they're talking about, a new Hulk movie, where they're gonna even bringing back Edward Norton. What's his name?
Norton. Edward Norton.
Yes, Edward Norton. They're bringing him back. So I like every Avengers team needs a Hulk, especially what they go up against. Like I said, Omega level events. They need something to be a muscle. They can't use Sentry. Because once Sentry does that, It's only a matter of time before you get the Void. And now you got two villains to go after. One is guaranteed you're not going to win. You know, you can't do that. I feel as though the new Avengers isn't going to last very long because of who they are. I feel like in the next few years we're going to get them merging with other. You know, they're going to be calling themselves the new Avengers, but no one else is going to call them the new Avengers. But that's going to be the running joke.
It's probably going to be the fate of the team. Like, I mean, so U.S. Agent is my favorite character on this team.
Yeah.
He stole the movie for me. And my point in saying this is that he's the guy, like, he's the punching bag for everybody when it comes to jabs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but you get that same vibe that the way that he gets treated, you know, like Valentina calls him the dime store Captain America or junior varsity Captain America.
Yeah.
And I love that scene. They go into the refurbished Avengers Tower, and Valentina calls him junior varsity Captain America.
Yeah.
And he goes to draw his gun, like he's going to air her brain out all over this place. And Bucky's like, no, don't do that.
And then, yeah, speaking of Bucky, when did he become a congressman? Or what is he? He's in the government. He's like over 100 years old, so I guess he would have that. But
so he's almost old enough to be U.S. president. That's the most political I'm going to get.
What? But it's like, I wish they focused more on that. Because the last time we saw him, he was with Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's the last time we saw him. And obviously he was, going to counseling. He was asking for forgiveness. He had a list of people that he assassinated. And he went to all of their family members and was like, hey, I'm sorry I killed your great-great-grandson. I'm sorry I killed your niece. It was,
I'm not laughing at that.
I'm sorry.
The way that it's done, that show is so goofy.
And then we don't see him for some time. And the next thing you know, he is a congressman in the U.S. government.
He cameos in...
He did.
Whatever the Falcon movie is.
Captain America. he did cameo in Captain America. Briefly. Quick one-on-one with Captain America, and then he was gone. But it still did not explain anything. And another thing I was hoping to see is Rhodey.
Yes.
Where's Rhodey?
So that's what I was going to get. When it comes to people that I want on the new Avengers,
Rhodey.
War Machine.
Why? Did we miss a Cap? I mean, because we're missing an Iron Man?
Well, obviously, but when it comes to it, the new Avengers, the feeling that I get from this team is that they care about getting the job done. They'll save people, but they're really about getting the job done by any means necessary.
What if we get Ironheart?
What if they put her on the new Avengers?
Yeah. What if this new show coming out is her meeting the new Avengers?
I think they're probably going to put her on the Young Avengers.
Like the West Coast Avengers?
No.
Well, they say Kate Bishop's in California right now.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that they're probably going to turn that team into the Young Avengers. This team is kind of a pseudo West Coast Avengers.
Dude, we might end up getting Champion. Because in that comic book, the entire New York vigilantes are outlawed. Right now in the MCU, superheroes are outlawed.
I can think of
Especially
few
in New York.
things. I can think of few things that I would be less excited for.
You like the Champions?
No.
What is wrong with that?
I like Kid Nova. I don't care about the rest of them.
You got Miles. You got Asian Hulk. I forgot his name.
That's his claim to fame, Asian Hulk.
Asian Hulk? Oh, man.
His name is Amadeus Cho.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Horrible character. Another
Actually,
Hulk.
I'm selling it. It's right over there. It's at the bottom. I don't know. His first appearance was a pretty cool comic book. He fought against Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner was like, "Who the hell are you?" He goes, "I'm the Hulk." He goes, "No, you're not. I'm the Hulk." "Oh yeah, let's fight it out." And then it just became green blur and rubble, which that's why I don't root for a Hulk movie. Not to jump off topic, But like, what's another Hulk movie? Like, we don't want to go see Bruce Banner. I don't want to see Marvel Presents Bruce Banner.
They should have done World War Hulk and done it properly.
I think that's what we're going to get. We're going to get a new Hulk film.
They can't go back and make it work.
That's why they're bringing back all the original Hulks. Like, from the original show to the very first movie to Edward Norton to Mark Ruffalo. She-Hulk's going to be in it. What's Hulk's son? Scar. He's going to be in it. Which, by the way,
horrible haircut.
Yeah, no, they're probably going to. Well, he has to have a mohawk.
Do you remember that from?
He's like, I'm on Earth and it's hot here. Like, why do you look so emo?
One of my favorite things from the She-Hulk show's horrible. But
no, it's not.
When Scar shows up, he's got that haircut.
Yeah.
His hairline is like back here, and it's like shaved that way. Like he made that conscious decision. Everybody looks at Scar, including Daredevil. Matt looks at him like he can see it.
You're right about that.
Someone made the joke about he can smell how awful his hairline is.
Oh my god. Well, actually, Daredevil can see.
I understand that, but I'm just saying it's very funny.
Well, but a lot of people think he sees just in darkness. No, he can see. It literally looks like the world is on fire to him, but he can see. He can see objects. It's just the same color as everything else, and it has like a hue to it. So that's what breaks it down from everything else as well. So it's not like he's utterly in darkness blind, you know. And he gets a lot of people get that confused, but I don't know if he's like that in the comic books. Because usually in the comic,
he has radar sense.
In the comic book they always show he has like an echolocation.
He hears a noise and then it sends out things from there.
So would you say Ben Affleck's vision in Daredevil is more accurate than the ongoing Daredevil?
Yes,
because he saw by raindrops. Or by
because of the sound of the raindrops, it would make it so much easier for him to see. I
like that concept, though. It kind of fits into his whole, thing with I see the world in fire, I'm Daredevil. I don't know, it kind of just, it looks, I like that concept.
The director's cut of that movie is legitimately enjoyable. And Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin is awesome. I don't care what anybody says.
Dun.
He's standing there, dude, with his feet so wide apart.
Yeah, right? It's like, come on, bro.
He had the diamond tip cane.
Yeah. In that movie, they actually told him that he needed to lose weight for the movie because he got so big. He's not with us anymore. No, but he was a giant dude.
Yeah.
He was bigger in that movie than he was in Green Mile. In Green Mile, he was a behemoth. But he was solid. But in this one, he was really cut up. I didn't think he was that big underneath that tux.
Well, Kingpin I think he has a line in the comics, like 350 pounds of pure muscle.
Yeah, he's
like
a big
people
guy.
think that he looks like that, but if you look, people think that he's fat. But if you look at like competitive bodybuilders, that's what they look like.
Yeah, he's just a big solid. He's not all cut up. He just has he's just a big walking muscle. He's like a rhino. He's a rhino, which I would love to see those kind of villains in the future of MCU. Give us more classic villains, and don't overdo it with CGI and robotics. Just give us a good classic villain.
Give him the pasty gray suit with the big white horn.
Yeah, I'll popcorn. That's a popcorn day for me, man. That version of Rhino looks like he can actually. He looks like he's an employee at Disneyland. Like he just wears give him the Mickey Mouse style. That's what they did with Shazam, but I didn't like it. Like when the first Shazam movie, it was like, dude, why am I able to see inside of your chest? It was just so like, dude, get that off. You're not gonna win a cosplay contest with that. But
could you imagine entering the film costume?
It looks really puffy.
You enter the film costume into a cosplay contest, and he would probably come last.
Oh my god! Like Charlie Chaplin and Robert Downey Jr. He entered a Charlie Chaplin contest and came in. I think he came in like second or third.
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin. The famous story is that he did a look-alike contest, and he came second or third.
And this is while he was playing the role as Charlie Chaplin, which he nailed it.
And he didn't enter. He didn't enter the contest as himself. He kind of touched up his appearance a little bit to try and make it look like it wasn't actually him.
Yep. And
I don't know how we got back to this point. I'm going to segue from Tony Stark from Robert Downey Jr. I really want to see more people on this team, and I think that War Machine is an absolute choice.
Or Riri Williams.
No, stop with that.
Just saying, man. You want some more iron? She got some iron.
No.
I don't know. It could happen. It could happen. But hey, I don't want to don't put me in an "I told you so" situation.
Are you going to take the bet?
Oh, I'm going to
so
rub it in your face. Yeah, I am. I'm going to bring it up every time we talk.
Okay.
I'm going to get an iron. I will get the poster. I'm going to put it in that blank spot right there.
You already have issue 1. Or first appearance, or
do.
whatever it is.
What happened to it?
But regardless,
I think I took it down to reprice it. I think I did.
I should have you sign a written statement saying that you're going to say that Ironheart is good.
Oh, I don't need
and
it. I do that for
when
free.
the show is over with, I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to hold it in your face.
Is it coming on Disney Plus directly?
Yes.
We're going to watch it together. Here, I'll put it on my laptop. Yeah,
It's,
and we can have
it's going to be so
live reaction.
I can't even pretend to say that it's going to be good. It's going to suck.
It will be the best movie of the year. It's a good summertime film right here.
It's not even a movie.
Yeah, well, in my heart, it's going to
be a show, and it's going to feel like it's 4,000 hours long.
It's the whole season, which is not promising. But wait, if they crank out the whole season at once, they're like, all right,
and they're dropping
it. Or leave it.
They're dropping it while Fantastic Four is going to be in theaters. I know some inside baseball about this show.
There's baseball about this show? What kind of... Dude, this guy talks...
It's a saying.
I don't know what you read. He talks weird sometimes.
I've been around too many old people.
Like, he talks like he's from Middle Earth. He just... what does baseball have to do with this?
It's a saying.
Who said it?
I don't know, man.
Who don't know? All right, use it in a sentence. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt your acknowledging.
So the inside baseball.
Yeah, okay.
When it comes to this show has... So Ironheart has been done for 2 years, to my understanding. Like, post-production, like, special effects, all of it. It's been done. They've been sitting on this show, and from what I understand, nobody is proud of it. The reason why they are dropping it full season all at one time is because they don't... So the reason why they drop shows 1 episode per week or in blocks at a week is because they want people to talk about it.
Okay.
They want this show to pass under the radar. It's to my understanding.
Okay.
There has been so much stuff behind the scenes, a lot of politics and cringe left over from the awful Black Panther movies. You can fight me on that.
I can't believe you said that.
The comics are better, all right? Read
awful?
a comic, please.
Like bad as in like... Awful as in what?
Awful as in...
You just kind of just...
I know. Awful as in they do a terrible job of portraying Black Panther. He is essentially, in the MCU, he's Black Batman. And in the modern comics, he's Black Batman. Instead of being a king and a genius and a fighter and a poet, essentially a poet, he's extremely intelligent, and it comes out in everything he says.
As you can
does.
see, I have not yielded. I am still standing. I don't know. I think I just slaughterhoused that whole saying. But
as you can see, I am not dead.
I am not dead. I don't know. I liked it. I liked Black Panther 1. I enjoyed Wakanda Forever. And I enjoyed it because we got to meet Namor, which I wasn't.
That's not Namor.
All right, I wasn't 100% impressed by it, but I liked him. I would say I had to find reasons to like it.
Can I just say with Namor, they race swap him to be Aztec, like kind of Hispanic.
Yeah.
and then they have him illegally cross the border into Wakanda. He swims across the border to Wakanda. Ryan Coogler, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Hey, I didn't do it. I just pointed it out.
You did. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
When he should be Atlantean.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That movie's so bad.
I don't know where to go with that.
And that has Riri Williams in it.
Go with. Yeah.
Your precious Ironheart.
Oh,
she
yeah.
blows up innocent cops.
Yeah, you wait and see. She's going to blow up a lot more in a month or so.
In the trailer, she says that she wants to build something iconic. She just builds Iron Man suits and practices them on
she's going to rebuild
cops.
the MCU. That's what she's going to do. Yeah. And she's like she's going to be the Beyonce of the MCU. Yep.
Not have a career anymore?
Oh my
God. Be Pastor Prime?
Where are we at on time, man? Where are we at on time?
Alright. Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
Bringing it back. The one thing that we have to talk about before we ship it out, pack it up, ship it out, is the final scene, the end credit scene.
Yeah.
The Fantastic Four reference.
Yep.
What'd you think?
Well, there's 2 after credit scenes.
Yes, there is. The first one sucks.
No, but wait a second.
The Wheaties commercial.
The first one, you probably overlooked it, but Red Guardian came in with his whole new suit with all of these sponsors. Remember that?
Yeah, there are 3 of them, isn't there?
No, there's only 2 that I can remember.
There's the New Avengers. No, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
There's the New Avengers, there's the Wheaties, and then...
And then they're coming from space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 2 references.
No, you're right, there is 2. There's the Wheaties, and then the one that I'm thinking of is not 2. Those are both combined into one.
So, yeah.
Where he's wearing the awful tracksuit, and
but
he has the pedophile mustache.
Yeah, with your hat, man. You might as well
John has the beret and the taco shield.
Yeah. Yeah, he even bought... it's almost like a wrist guard type ordeal. But yeah, he needs to press that shield out. But anyway, I'm going to 3D print that shield.
The bent shield?
The bent shield for you.
No.
That's for you. I'm going to buy you a nice beret too. Yeah, you can watch around town. I'm U.S. agent. Yippity doo doo. I'm Johnny Walker. Oh my goodness.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah. Okay, hold up.
Fantastic Four.
Yes, Fantastic Four. So, the first cutscene trailer is a Fantastic Four reference. It's from Fantastic Four, I want to say 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer, when Johnny Storm comes in with a bunch of different sponsors all over his Fantastic Four outfit. They're like, and it's Stu's like, come on, Johnny, blah, blah, blah. And hothead, and they're like, no, we're not doing that. And then he crumpled up his car and chucked it. And then the second reference was, honestly, that was my only disappointment in the entire movie.
Your only disappointment?
And for Thunderbolts, that was one of my only disappointments. Did you have... Yeah, what was your... Yeah, we praised the crap out of this movie, but we give it a 7. What is the 9... What is the 10, 9, 8? What is that... I'll tell you mine, you tell me yours.
I don't think So Ghost didn't impress me too much. She was okay. She's growing on me.
Yeah.
Bucky is kind of just in this movie. I don't know. There's something I've been thinking about a lot. He facilitates some things happening, and he's in Congress and stuff like that, but he's kind of just standing there watching people.
Mm-hmm.
He brings the team together in the effect that he arrests them and then talks. No, he doesn't even give them the pep talk about being a hero. Red Guardian does that.
Yeah, he just beats the crap out of them.
He's just...
And wraps rebar around them.
Bucky beats them up and arrests them, kind of, and then tells them that he's taking them to Valentina's tower, whether you like it or not. And then they get on board with it for their own reasons. Bucky just kind of does things. Bucky's the weakest link to me in this movie.
So, I'm gonna give you one of the things I did not like about the film. But first, I want to just say something. A few days ago, we were talking about who would win in a fight or who was stronger, MCU version, Captain America or U.S. Agent. And you are strong about U.S. Agent because the serum enhances whatever you are, right?
Right. So the serum, it enhances the base level, like it multiplies what was already there.
No.
That's the comic explanation.
Yeah.
And that's the Captain America First Avenger explanation.
Let's also not forget the fact that Bucky basically lost to Captain America, but because Captain America was such fond friends and wanted to revert him back to who he was, he chose to take a loss. He chose to stop fighting him.
Right.
He had the opportunity. He could have beat the crap out of him. Also, who beat the crap out of Bucky was, one, Spider-Man. Just by catching his arm, he beat the crap out of Spider-Man. No matter how strong Winter Soldier is, he is not as strong as Spider-Man. And thirdly, Iron Man beat up Winter Soldier. Now, if Bucky can beat up U.S. Agent and get him down with rebar, Captain America will destroy U.S. Agent.
Well, for the record, so we're saying that Bucky beat them up. He didn't actually beat them up. He blew up the limo that they were in. And presumably, while they were knocked out, tied them up.
He won. That's a beat up.
He didn't physically fight them. Like, if somebody's passed out on the ground and you tie their hands up, you didn't beat them in a fight.
I don't know, man.
They were taking a dirt nap.
Well, there's different ways. Like, Iron Man would not necessarily punch Winter Soldier or Bucky in the face. He
did during Civil War.
He did, yeah. But he will also use everything that he has in his arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, Captain America has, or U.S. Agent, all they have in their arsenal is their strength, their ability, their fight. I would say their fight. What's the word I'm looking for? Like their fight intelligence.
Oh yeah.
You know. And I think the reason why Steve Rogers would beat up a U.S. Agent in a fight is because he has a higher fight intelligence than U.S. Agent. I'm not like brute strength can get you but so far, but if you don't know how to use it or use your environment or your speed in it, it's classic boxing. You know, every boxer is a good boxer, but not every boxer wins the fight. You know,
there have been some not so good boxers, but regardless.
Okay, yes.
I get what you're saying.
Compared to another boxer, but the worst boxer is better than any amateur boxer or any untrained boxer.
They'd still beat anybody on the street.
Yeah. So
I get what you're saying about that.
It's fight science and it's fight IQ. And I think that's the edge.
When it comes to the MCU, we haven't gotten to see a lot of Walker's feats. He does a super jump in this, which you've never seen Steve do. He jumps who knows how high up that
Not a mile.
tunnel.
Not a mile. And all I had to do is jump a mile.
Jump a mile. Dude, a mile is 5,280 feet.
How did you know that? Are you serious? Did you know that?
I went to college for architecture. I studied.
Like I said, this guy.
I studied civil engineering. I looked at planning neighborhoods. You have to know what a mile is.
Good
you have
point.
to know footage.
Yeah. Good point. All right.
So you're saying that he didn't jump 5,000 feet?
Like I think Steve Rogers would have done is he would have jumped as high as he could, caught himself on the wall, and then he's strong enough to use whatever leverage he has to push himself.
How long are his arms?
Dude, long enough to do it.
No.
Yeah.
They had to lock arms and sit 4 people, so that's at least 2 people across.
I think Steve Rogers is taller than Jack Daniels.
I appreciate you using his other name.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, one of my favorite fun facts about John Walker from the comics is that his original name was Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to John Walker. He's always been named after alcohol.
Always
Been named after whiskey.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. Like I feel as though
I get what you're saying.
Like it's just I feel as though he's like Steve Rogers is bigger. He's bigger in a sense of He's bigger in every way, dude.
What I would say,
He's bigger in mass. He's taller. Like I don't foresee U.S. Agent beating Captain America in a fight.
I'm saying this as the U.S. Agent fan. I have his first appearance in comics. He would lose, even though I'm a fan of him. He would lose because Steve is, like you're saying, when it comes to fight intelligence, battle intelligence, he is smarter. He would get into his head. He would get him off balance, and that's all it would take. If it was just a straight up slugfest, like just straight up boxing,
yeah,
Walker would knock Steve's head off, clean off his shoulders.
You think so?
He's straight
I don't know, man.
He's straight up stronger than he is.
Like he said himself, he can do this all day.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
And John Walker uses a gun, which Steve does not use
anymore. So okay, so now it's like if we were to put World War One Hydra Captain America up against modern day U.S. Agent, will that be a?
Yeah, military tactics have improved since World War II.
I don't know, man. I guess
he's much more accurate with his gun as well.
I got it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I noticed that because I was like, yo, why is he just kind of all over the place? You didn't hit anybody. Which I think purposely he did that because Marvel's not going to want to show any good guy kill someone like that.
So this kind of takes us back to Falcon and Winter Soldier, when John, as Captain America, killed the terrorist. He's a terrorist, all right? He deserved it.
Who?
The guy that he bashes in with the shield.
Yeah, it's just how he did it, man. You can't be...
And I'm sorry. So Steve's superpower is that when he kills people, he never gets caught. Nobody records him while he's doing it.
Yeah.
So, and Marvel won't put blood on his shield. So, but from the comics, Steve has no problem killing people. If you're a threat,
yeah, dude.
There are exceptions that he's made. He spared the Supreme Intelligence, which is the hive mind for the Kree.
Mm-hmm.
He spared from killing him because of the fact that the Supreme Intelligence is relied upon by women and children, innocent women and children. So he spared him for that. But he's not afraid to kill people. No. He has in the past.
Captain America Winter Soldier. He killed everyone on that boat.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone on that boat died that day. Everybody.
Yeah, he kicked that guy into the steel wall.
Yeah, he broke his back. It didn't even
spine.
Over.
Like,
yeah.
he folded backwards, and then he landed face first into the water.
Let's get back to the second scene so we can wrap this up.
Yep.
The last cutscene from Thunderbolts, they show Fantastic Four's ship coming into the MCU's atmosphere. That was a cool part, one of the coolest parts of an after credit scene, but at the same time, one of the worst parts. I feel as though, to me, not having if I had no expectations or if I wanted to avoid all spoilers for Fantastic Four, me watching the Thunderbolts after credit scene, you completely told me how Fantastic Four ended.
I disagree. I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
I have 3 theories. The first one is that it is what you're talking about. That scene is, we're seeing the end of the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four are coming into the MCU timeline. Mm-hmm. But my 2 other theories are that is not them, or that is them. When I say that is them, that could be them getting their powers for the first time. When you watch the Fantastic Four trailer, Reed says that part of the reason why this stuff might be happening is because he stretched the boundaries of space.
Well, they have their powers.
We don't know in the MCU how they got their powers exactly. We're assuming that it's going to be the same thing from the comics, the cosmic radiation.
Yeah. I'm
wondering if the cosmic radiation comes from them punching a hole into this other universe and then coming back.
You know what What if the cutscenes of Thunderbolts with Fantastic Four coming into Earth is only the half of the Fantastic Four movie? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying, so that would be them getting their powers for the first time, and then they go back.
Because Thing already had his powers in the beginning of the movie. Ben Grimm was already the Thing in their universe.
Well, what we're going to see when it comes to the Fantastic Four First Steps, from what I understand, the movie is going to be, we're going to see their origin story, but the movie is not just going to be their origin story. It's going to be them fairly early on. You are going to see how they got their powers, but that's not going to be the entire movie.
I hope they don't give us an origin story. Every Fantastic Four.
Well, they are.
Why?
It was already in the trailer. It might be brief. It might just be a few minutes, but they are going to show you.
I'm cool with that. Let it be brief. Let it be talked about, but don't give me that whole radioactive wave hitting you and then Chris. Don't give me that. Like, I don't like it when they reboot Batman and they give us the origin story, or when they reboot Spider-Man and they give us the origin story. Like, we know as a comic book fan how this happened. And even if you're not a comic book fan,
I was going to say,
you know how it happened.
I'm fairly certain everybody knows Batman's parents got gifted a gat.
Yeah, like we are. It's. I would say comic books and comic book knowledge is embedded into everybody's DNA in one shape or form.
For a few characters,
yeah.
Everybody knows Superman. Baby came from alien planet.
Which, did you see the new trailer to Superman? By the way.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of time to get into it.
Well, we will jump into that next episode.
Alrighty.
And,
So my last theory.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm swinging for the fences here. It could be Doctor Doom. I'm thinking about it. If it's from the end of the movie, I was thinking about the Fantastic Four. I don't see them leaving Earth and leaving everyone to die. I could see them staying or trying to find some other way to bring Earth into their universe, but just a single ship leaving, it could be Doctor Doom.
I don't know, man. There's so many different theories going on right now. Like, Tony Stark has a brother. In comic books, he has a brother. His brother became a villain because he was kept in isolation for so long, and that could be his brother. Another one is from Multiverse of Madness. They say they had to kill Tony Stark, but that could this version of Doctor Doom could be that version of Tony Stark.
Then you're getting into multiverse and time travel.
Well, we are. We are getting to the multiverse.
We've done it separately, but we've never.
Because we're about to hit Secret Wars, which is
you're right.
Multiverse.
Yeah, you're right. Because the Fantastic Four is coming from the 60s and the MCU is in
we got
2030 or something.
Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man coming, and we're going to have, hopefully we have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man coming, which is the best Spider-Man on the planet. Yes. Yeah, man. So, we got a lot to talk about in the future, at least. Hey, as long as they keep making stuff, at least we got something to talk about, right?
We'll all do. There's so many comics. There's such
like
a back
the new
catalog.
Teen Titan Go. Have you read that lately? It's such...
No.
Oh, piece of literature right there. Teen Titans Go is on issue 3.
I will never.
Came out Tuesday.
I will never, because I was in the generation I saw Teen Titans. I saw the original. I saw the original show, the original Teen Titans animated show when that came out.
Yeah.
And then when it was ended, and then we heard, they're bringing back Teen Titans, and they're bringing back some of the voice cast and stuff like that. And I was so excited, and then you give me that crap.
Oh, that's
so. No, I will never forgive them for that,
Mama.
and I'm not going to watch it.
Hey, Mama, I got some chili dogs. So Beast
You
Boy
probably just
also
quoted an episode.
Yeah, that was Beast Boy, man. And then we also got the new Gwenpool's back. I'm loving it. Gwenpool's back. Aren't you happy about that? That's a must read.
No, I'm not happy.
That's New York Times bestseller right there, buddy. And then we have Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time, which is the third time. Like, how many times is this dude going to kill the same people over and over?
When Marvel needs to pay their electricity.
Yeah, right? Exactly. When they just
Marvel needs to make the bills.
Hurry up and buy a comic book. And then we got the new Invincible World Battle Beast.
Dude,
which,
sick.
There's your copy over there if you want to take it.
No, I got it.
You already got it?
I got it from you, yeah.
Did I get you early? Ooh. Whoops. Sorry, Diamond, but you're about to go out of business anyway.
Sorry. Kick bricks, Froggy. You lost.
But on that note, I'm Rico. My main man, Cody. This is Reflection Comics present to you guys Comic Talk. And tune in next week for our Superman trailer.
Superman. Yep.
Because that's a must. We must talk about that, right? Peace out, guys.